Congratulations, guys. Shane, we'll start with you and work our way to Adam. Just take us through the race. Track was obviously challenging. It was dry. Options in the whoops, and you guys put on a pretty great battle tonight. Just take us through it from start to finish, Shane.
Tonight was one of those races where it was a little tougher to start in the front. I didn't know where they were catching me, but I knew that they were catching me in some areas, and it's tough to control the race when you're doing that. But it was nice to be out front. I felt good out front, and I pulled a hole shot, and so I haven't had one of those in a while. So we had a lot of positives from today, and really made progress all day, and that was what I was most excited about. And going into the main, I was the best I felt all day, and I knew that I could make it happen. And Adam's 2 for 2 on the last 2 Vegas rounds, so it was hard to see him pulling away a little bit, but we ended on a good note on the podium, and we're ready for outdoors.
Jordan?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of typical Vegas out there. It was rough during the day, and it was better for the night show, I thought. I was kind of happy that we started jumping the whoops. That was a lot better line for me. And like Shane said, we worked good as a team today and made a lot of progress, and I felt really good in the main event. Adam was on rails out there. He came past me on, I don't know, maybe the 3rd or 4th lap or something, and he was riding really good, and I just put my head down and try to make the same pass as he did, and I caught up to second.
It was a difficult race for me. I don't know what it was on the starts today, but for some reason I just feel like I wasn't getting the same bite right off the gate. I wasn't getting a lot of bottom end for whatever reason. Maybe it was just me on the clutch or not enough revs or whatever. But I think the only difference between this race and other ones in the past, obviously I'm comfortable on this track, but the whole time I felt like mentally like I was trying to get to the front. I wasn't trying to settle or be consistent or be smart. I was just kind of focused on the front and felt good on the track all day. And the heat race, there was a couple things that we kind of pinpointed that I needed to do, and it was just like 2 or 3 things. Just kept it pretty simple and just tried to execute those. And but like Shane said, it almost was nice for me to be in the back and kind of sit back and see where I was maybe a little bit better than some of these guys. And I was happy I was able to execute it. I had to pass some world-class talent, so it was probably one of my better wins in my career for sure.
All right, guys, name and affiliation.
Steve Gaberson with Vital and Active. Adam, congratulations on missing the dreaded plaque zone.
Feels good.
Up on the podium, it looked like it really kind of hit you that, hey, I got another win here. What did it mean to you to get this one?
It meant a lot. It's been a struggle all year. I've been consistent, and that's been a big focus for me. Obviously, I don't want to be in the hospital. I want to be out here racing, and to kind of dial it back from, it's easy to kind of from the outside look in and say, oh, you just need to tone it back just a little bit, and just tone it back, and you'll be fine, you'll be consistent. But to kind of tinker from that really good raw speed to being consistent is tough. So it's almost like I went backwards in a sense of explosiveness. I wanted to settle too much this year, and tonight I rode with nothing to lose. I said on the podium, which I'm going to get yelled at for because I guess I wasn't supposed to say anything until Monday, but I've had a torn ACL for a year, and it was just rode my last 15 laps for 4 months. So that's what I told you before the race. So I just went out there and rode it like it was my last 15 laps until September.
Yeah, this is for Adam. What's next for you besides fixing your ACL? Are you signed with Mitch for next year?
Yeah, still signed with 250s for Mitch. I'll be back for Supercross in 2019 with Mitch. Yeah.
Michael Antonovich with Transworld Motocross. Adam, why now all of a sudden to get the knee fixed? Because this has been over a year. What makes you want to do it now?
I just wearing my meniscus away. It's just the way I was explained. My doctor's actually here somewhere, not in this room, but he could explain it better. I'll probably hack this up. But basically the ACL was, I completely tore it at Indianapolis when Osborne and I got into it. I'll send you a bill. I don't know if you're out there. I'll send you a bill for surgery. But so we got into it, and that happened. And then it was fine. All last summer, it was kind of okay. And then I messed it up again. I hyperextended at the USGP, and that kind of put a damper on things. Ever since then, it's been filling up with fluid kind of pretty much every time I ride. And everyday life, it's fine. Like I don't really notice it too much. But when it comes to training and riding and stuff like that, it was coming to the point where I don't even think I would make it through outdoors. Like you're just liable to dab it, and every time I dab it, it's like, I mean, it's pretty terrible pain. Like I can't really ride for a few days, and so it's just time.
Jason Wygant, Racer X. For Shane, it's the same situation for everybody when you're racing East and West. Shane and Jordan, what was it like to be in the truck together, working together, looking at film together? Because normally you're not racing together.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool. We're two North Carolina boys. We grew up racing with each other and going to the same tracks all the time. And so TK always tells us to represent for North Carolina. So we try to do our best today. And I like going to races with Shane. I haven't, done that very much. We've raced opposite coasts. I missed all of outdoors last year. So Shane brings a good vibe to the truck, and I enjoy it.
Yeah, we're just, like Jordan said, a couple of North Carolina kids that came from the backwoods pretty much. I mean, we grew up racing a Top Gun and battling each other, and it's just cool to be here. We've been on the same team for going on 2 years now, but it's like we haven't really been together. So it's weird when we come together for a race like this, because it's almost like we're not together in a sense, but it's just cool to be with the team, and everybody's helping out each other. And I mean, to go out there and race them, it's like then we're fighting for North Carolina. So I mean, I hate that he beats me, but if North Carolina's getting credit, then I'm happy.
Just so you guys know, Top Gun is probably harder than this Vegas dirt here at times.
This is Jim Kimball for Motocross Action for Jordan. Jordan, last year, after you joined the team you're on, you did so incredible in Supercross, and you were in contention for the championship for a while. This year, I know you were injured prior to the season, and you still did very good. Do you kind of feel like things are going your way, and next year could be a championship year?
I mean, yeah, at this point, there's, nothing that I really want more than winning the championship. Last year I came in with the points lead, and this year I felt more solid than I did last year. Zach was just better, and he did really good all year, and no big mistakes. So, I think that, next year with the team and third year, I think that, we shouldn't accept anything less than leaving this place a year from now with a number one plate.
Jordan and Shane, is there anything you can pinpoint that you wish you had done differently or had gone your way to get a few more points you would have needed? Because you were both pretty close.
I wish I wouldn't have rode like a girl sometimes. For us, it's 9 rounds, and this year I had two bad races, and at that point you just can almost forget about the championship. So last year I had one bad round and then Vegas, but it's really tough to be in the mix every weekend. And like Adam said, I mean, it's hard to be consistent and fast. And I wanted to be really consistent this year, and I've done that at times, but then it's like, okay, well, how do you push the limits a little bit and still be consistent? So it's really tough with just I guess we had 10 rounds the West Coast did this year, but it's just little things that add up big in such a short series.
Yeah, I feel like I started the season with 2 6th places, and Zach won the first round, and I think got second at the second round, and that put me at a pretty big deficit to start with. With a guy as good as Zach, he's not going to make many mistakes. He's really fast, and like Shane and Adam both said, it's really hard to find the fine line between being, having that raw speed and being consistent. And Zach just, seems like he had that this year and last year both, and it was tough to compete. But the 2 6th places were really the 2 big races that I kind of lost points at. Other than that, we were pretty close. So we'll try again next year.
Dan Lamb, Moto Exotics. Adam, last week you were really bummed. You kind of didn't go to school on the whoops, and you were mad you didn't move over. Today you kind of had the line for the whoops at 3:34. How important was that tonight, that line? They kind of went to school behind you too.
Yeah, I think I was scared to jump the whoops after coming back to the truck last weekend and having that go down. I was like, in the heat race, I was even talking to Joey before the heat race. We went 1-2 in the heat race. He kind of at least initiated his pass on me going to the inside and jumping the whoops. I was like, man, I don't think I can go back and see Mitch and go jump through the whoops. If it was slower, I'm like, man, I'll just go outside. You know what I mean? I was lucky. I was able to, the main line was jumping through them, and last week was a struggle, but we won't talk about that.
End on a high note.
Yeah, it feels good. Yeah.
Thanks, guys. In the 450 division, finishing in third, riding for Rocky Mountain ATV MC KTM, Blake Baggett. And in second place, riding for Red Bull KTM, Marvin Muscan. And your winner, riding for Monster Energy Kawasaki, Eli Tomac. Congratulations, guys. Take us through the night. The main event, obviously, same questions, the 250s. The track was pretty tough, and for 20 minutes in one lap, I'm sure it got pretty difficult there near the end to just keep focused and keep going. And just kind of take us through it. Blake, we'll start with you.
Yeah, it's Vegas, so it's nothing like the Strip. It's not a party out there. It's gnarly. It's pretty tough. So it's hard packed, slippery, and I just couldn't hang pace with these two guys. They were just going a little bit quicker than me every lap, and I just tried to be consistent, keep it on two wheels, and get another third place. Of course, I want to get a first or a second this season, but came up short, so add another third to my list.
Yeah, I mean, like Blake said, it's Vegas. It's going to be hard, slippery, and I knew it was going to be a tough main event. The heater is actually pretty good, and it got even harder and more slippery for the main. My start was awesome, but it was a little bit better, and we were first and second. So my goal was just to keep charging and to keep pushing, and we both made mistakes, and we pushed hard, and came home with second, but I made a mistake with the lappers, the rhythm before the finish, and definitely lost the contact with Eli, and after that the gap stayed the same pretty much until the checkers. So, but I gave my best, and on the track like that, I mean, I improved so much from last year, and really proud about it.
Eli.
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, like these guys said, normal Vegas, it was dancing in the whoops, almost every lap, and trying to decide whether or not you're going to skim them or jump them. And just going to our whole day. Our starts were on point the whole time. The heat race start was almost too good. I overshot the turn there, and then the main it was just right. So overall happy on the way we rode and the way things finished out here. But had a really big moment in the rhythm section in that main event where probably shouldn't have rode it out, but somehow did.
Jim Kimball, motocross action. This is for Marvin. Marvin, you might have touched on this when you mentioned a lapper, but for a while it looked like you were really close to Eli, and then you maybe dropped back a bit, then you got close again. Can you kind of talk about what all was going on then?
Like I said, I was charging, and to be in that position and to be able to push the limit like that, and to follow Eli, it was actually fun. It was going out of the stadium. It was so much high speed, and I was actually doing pretty good over that descent section and wheel tapping and sending it. that ski jump was little crazy. I mean, it was such a big jump and big impact on the landing, but I was pushing hard, and then I made a mistake. I missed going out in the 3-3 on the rhythm, and definitely lost the contact. But a little bit of bummer because I wish I would have keep putting the pressure until the last lap, but it didn't happen. But I gave my best. It was definitely, like I said, and they said, a tough track, and I'm happy that I rode like that on those conditions.
Chris, MotoX Addicts, this is for Eli. So coming out of the sand section, you were hopping over that jump, and it looked incredibly dangerous. Do you weigh the risk versus reward when doing something like that?
Yeah, I mean, I did it only twice, I think, in the middle there, just jumping over that last wall. That thing was honestly kind of scary to hit, how fast we were going into it. When I was able to get that little hop, I almost thought it was safer than the way how high speed we were hitting that ramp. So, that's why I actually stopped doing it after I did it a couple times. I was like, no more.
Eli, you were in Supercross title drama. Oh, Jason Wygant, racer. Sorry. You were in super title drama last year, so probably focused on Supercross right to the end. Have you gotten a little more head start on motocross this time because the points are out of reach indoors?
Yeah, a little more head start for sure. Just it's another year on our motorcycle, and ended with a good base last year. So, we're healthy. There's nothing nagging, and should be good to go.
Blake, you had a wrist injury at Atlanta, and your results kind of tailed off, and then it's definitely gotten better at the end of the year. So, what's the status of that injury?
Yeah, I mean, way to put it pretty blunt. You just could have said that I wasn't doing good.
Tailed off is better than horrible.
Yeah, okay.
I'm trying.
My wrist is it's wounded, so it's the cards I'm dealt with. I got fused wrists, and my thumb's held together by some screws that I had after outdoors last year put in it to hold it together. So anytime I jam it or go down on it, it hurts for a good solid month. It's tough to train during the week and ride with it, but it's motocross.
And finally, Marv, you ended up being still in title contention this week, which you might not have expected. But Jason had some problems last week. Is that anything different in your preparation or even your mindset today, thinking you could actually win the championship today? Was that running through your mind?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, if I didn't, that would be weird.
Okay.
And not normal, but definitely. I didn't go to school too much, but I knew I had 14 points back, and the math was actually not too hard if anything happened. But no, it's racing. It's crazy. Like anything can happen, and made it really interesting for the fans, I guess, and everybody. Definitely up and down season, but we say that so many times. Try to be more consistent next year, but like I said, made a lot of progress in the last few rounds. We were able to fight for the win, so that's really important, and looking forward to the future.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, we'd like to welcome our champions to the podium. Winning the 250 East Division, riding for Monster Energy Husqvarna Factory Racing, Zach Osborne. Winning the 250 West Division, riding for Monster Energy, Yamalube, Thor Parts Unlimited Yamaha, Aaron Plessinger. And your 450 winner for the 2018 Monster Energy AMA Supercross FIM World Champion, riding for Monster Energy Husqvarna Factory Racing, Jason Anderson. Aaron, I'll start with you. Are you pretty excited?
You could say that.
Take us through that main event. You were in a position where things were kind of close. Adam was within range there. A little mistake might have happened. He could have got it. What were those laps like, especially there at the end when you knew you were in the right position, but it was still kind of close?
It was crazy. Got off to a mid-pack start and had to battle my way up to 8th, and I had a moment. Swapped pretty good going down the far back straightaway before I got in the sand. And after that, I said, time to back it down. I think I was behind Zach at that time, and I knew I didn't have to get any more positions, so I just kind of sat back and had a good old time riding my dirt bike.
Zach, on the podium, you mentioned that this might have been the hardest of all the championships you've won. Kind of take us through that thought process and why this one was so difficult, and kind of how you were able to fight through it and get it.
Mainly, I put a lot into my winter, my boot camp, and when these guys started racing, I kept riding 4 days a week and just grinding because I wanted to come in as prepared as possible, and maybe came in a little bit flat, not really just at my tip top. I missed it by maybe 2 weeks, but I had to work through that, and then a sit down after a run in at the first race with someone, and that kind of changed my perspective on what I needed to do, and kind of put me in a situation that I've never really been in, where I couldn't just go out there and give it 100% all the time. I needed to be courteous on occasions and just kind of manage things. So for me, this one was like a little bit of a different look at how to win a championship.
Jason, congratulations. Last October, I don't know if you remember, but at the after party after Monster Cup, you told me
he didn't go to that.
He did.
Never.
He did. Stop it. Jason, you told me you were going to win this championship. You said you were getting started on your program a little early. You were fired up, and you were going to figure some things out, and you were going to win it. You did. What was it? Something changed this year. Everything came together, and ultimately, what was it?
I think that's called a little bit of liquid courage right there. I this whole offseason, I was just, I just did what I felt was right, and I really, manifested winning that championship, and that's all I thought about. And it's unreal, 17 rounds. I started leading it at round 2, and it was tough, like even right now, like the last 2 weeks, I'm pretty mentally spent, and it's been a lot of pressure, but I'm proud of myself that I handled it decently. Last weekend was kind of crazy, but I'm just I have no words, and I'm just like still kind of shocked on everything that's happened.
As a follow-up question, where's the after party tonight? We'd all like to go.
We made a collective decision that we're going to be grown men, and we're going to go back and watch the race in my motorhome, have a small treat for dinner, and go to bed and go focus on this outdoor title.
I'm going to sleep. I don't know what he's talking about. I did not agree to that plan.
I'm sorry, Zach. That question was for Jason. I'm going where Jason's going.
I mean, unless we could have everyone here in your motorhome and have a cake.
Hey.
Yeah, Steve Bauer, Cycle News. This is for Zach. So you're closing out your 250 career with 2 titles. What's next for you? You got a plan? You gonna be side by side with this guy?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go out there and nail him. Basically, I mean, he's gonna get it every day during the week, and then Saturday too. No, I mean, I have to be realistic. It's my rookie season. I mean, I'm 29, or I'll be 29 when I start the first 450 race of my career. So my main focus is to go out there and kind of do my best to miss the rookie pitfalls, if you will, and just be a solid guy in the top 5, and hopefully contest for some podiums and wins. I don't really know. I feel like if I can get really, really good and comfortable on the bike, that I can do some damage. To say that I'm going to go out there and win the championship is pretty big. I mean, definitely not ready to state that. I mean, I'd like to go out there and just see what I got and work forward from wherever I'm at, no matter where that is.
This is Jim Kimball, Motocross Action. A question for Jason. Jason, what was it like? Like you commented just now, you had the points lead after round 2, and I don't know, how can you manage the points lead yet try to win races? It seems like that would be difficult.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I could have probably won more races if it was a little bit closer, because I feel like some of those races I was just thinking about points and everything like that, so it was tough to kind of really send it. So it was tough.
Maybe the second part to that is, and I don't know what my question exactly is in this, but what really impressed me, it seemed like if you got a bad start or you had a crash, you really seemed to make every minute count. I mean, you charged to get back near the front. You never gave up.
Yeah, I mean, that's this 450 season. It's 17 rounds, and every point counts. And you could kind of tell, with that last round, how crazy it was. I needed those points, so it really, really counted.
Chris Cooksey, MotoX Addicts. So, Zach, you said you had a sit down after the first round. Was there some sort of a formal probation? What happened there?
Well, I was on probation from the thing here last year in Vegas, so they just really made it clear.
And then, Aaron, down on the podium, I saw you with your girlfriend. Did you propose?
Yeah, I did.
Congratulations.
Thank you. She said yes. Yeah.
Can I do sweatshirt?
For all three of you, Zach, you went through it. Last year you won 2 titles, but for you guys, it's your first titles as pros. So, I mean, what was today actually like? I'm sure you're...
Supercross champ, bro.
Oh, that's right, yeah. 2014, congrats. Yeah. 4 years later. What was today like? I mean, were you able to act fairly normal, or are we just kidding ourselves and think that you were able to do that?
For me, I feel like I got food poisoning last night. So even like right now, I'm shivering because I'm like so cold right now.
Seriously?
Oh, I was throwing up all night. It was crazy. So even like right now, dude, I'm struggling a little bit.
Did you feel like fate was like working against you? The wheel breaks and then you got food poisoning last night?
Yeah. I definitely feel like crap right now, but I'm all good.
Okay. Well, what about you? At least you weren't dealing with that, but was it weird today?
It was a little weird, but
it's so cold right now.
It was pretty normal. I mean, I don't know. I didn't really think of it that much, because when you start thinking about it, it gets in your mind and gets in your head, and that's when you ride bad. So I tried not to think of it and just go at it like it was another race.
Aaron, we're always told how hard and serious and how difficult this is and how much pressure and stress and drama there is, but you just seem like you come to the races and you're just like hanging out. Like, is there a thing we're not seeing, like how serious you are? Because I don't think we ever see you do anything except what you're doing right now, which is smiling and having a good time. Is it not like that sometimes?
Sometimes not. I mean, most of the time I'm pretty happy, because I'm riding my dirt bike and wanted to do this my whole life. Yeah. So I'm just enjoying it, having a good time.
Aaron, I got a follow-up question for you. I've been on Google for a minute. I can't seem to find it. What does outstandable mean?
It's in my dictionary. You don't have it. Okay. Maybe check Urban Dictionary. Yeah, check Urban Dictionary.
Would you like to create a meaning for that word right now?
Or Ohio Dictionary. That'd be a good place to look as well. It's called Hamiltucky. Hamiltucky, and we use words that we just mash words together sometimes, and usually works out right, but that one was a new one, and kind of struggling.
I think we collectively all agree it was pretty outstandable.
Hey, even Ricky Carmichael was like, that was outstandable. Right there with
See? I made a new word.
That's right.
Wheels with racetracks. This is the last question, I guess. We've used words serious, normal. Nobody's asked us yet. What's the deal with what's the whole ensemble you got going on there? Flip flops and a Trojan helmet. What's the deal?
I don't know. I just didn't really feel like being too serious tonight. Now my truck driver had this in his cab, and flip flops just because they're comfy.
All right, guys, congratulations and thank you.
Thank you.